One of the leading feminists and most prolific feminists of our generation joins us now. Muhammad Ali was heavyweight champion of the world 3 times, greatest of all time. She was national president, National Organization of Women 3 times. So she's also the greatest. Ellie Smeal, Eleanor Smeal, joins us now, the Feminist Majority. You like how I did that, Ellie?
That's something else. Got to be right up there with the most unusual.
Yeah, you hadn't thought about that before. 3 times, that's the charm, That's great. How are you?
Good this morning.
It was good to see you at the National Congress of Black Women brunch briefly on Sunday. All women coming together. That's very, very important across racial lines and ethnic lines and what have you. Ellie, this Kavanaugh nomination has always been a disaster, but it's an even greater disaster now that we've heard Dr. Ford's accusations. What's your take on the way Senate Republicans have handled this thus far?
Well, from the very beginning, they've been just rushing, and basically they haven't released something like 90% of his records. They have left themselves wide open for other things happening, but this is very important what Dr. Ford's doing. I mean, she's coming forth. Some people say history is repeating itself. I happen to have been in the room when Anita Hill testified. But this is a different time, and if the Republicans start a third-degree prosecution, as they did at Anita Hill, I don't think it'll work. This is a different time, and people now understand far more about sexual harassment and sexual assault. And frankly, just women won't take it, and the elections are very soon.
The counter-arguments, obviously, is that why did she wait so long? Enlighten our audience about why oftentimes women don't come forward right away and may not come forward until years later.
There's many reasons, but not the least of which is the fear of retaliation, fear that it will have not only a negative impact on them, but there will be even more harassment and more problems. And so there's real fear based on experience. So that's one of the major reasons that they don't come forth. But also for young women such as she, the reality is it creates a block. I mean, she's had psychological problems, it seems, from this trauma, real trauma, not knowing who to trust, and basically that also contributes. It's something like even, say, priest pedophilia, where so many of the victims waited decades to come forth. We now know this is not unusual. This is more common. But I do think that there will be much more support for her. People understand. Already it's had a tremendous impact for other women who say, I should come forth now.
Why would any woman, Ellie, continue, if she does, to support Donald Trump? We know that, unfortunately, a number of women voted for him, still can't get over that. I mean, I know that just like in the African-American community, we have internalized racism. Amongst women, because of oppression, there's a level of internalized sexism. But beyond that, after all that has happened, and now we're going to have this testimony on Monday, we will see another Anita Hill on TV Monday right before our very eyes. Why would any women continue to support Donald Trump?
Well, you probably know that the gender gap is very, very wide right now. It's the largest I've ever seen, something like 20 points. The reason his numbers are so low is that women, independent women, Democratic women, but also Republican women are saying enough. We can't take this anymore. So I think that to me it's astounding that any woman would support this administration, but still the numbers are decreasing, and he is, as you know, upside down. He's only in the 30% approval rating. I think it's like 38, something like that,
right.
Which means that the vast majority of Americans have said enough.
Are we getting closer to what you envisioned? Are we getting closer to a feminist majority? I suspect a lot of people are feminists and may not call themselves that, may not even realize it, but
Well,
it's
the
not
polls are
difficult to be.
showing that we're the majority now, a solid majority of young women, something like 2/3. And overall, the feminist majority is growing. It doesn't always register. In fact, one of the things that we've got to get people doing is voting more. I mean, there's no question if we had higher turnouts, we wouldn't be discussing what the current discussion would be all different. And we would be dealing with climate change and racism and putting things behind us instead of having, Charlottesville's. I mean, it is. We're going backwards, but we have to stop it. Unfortunately, the elections are coming. I'm hoping that people say enough and that we get to a much more progressive era.
Do you agree that Kavanaugh should withdraw?
Oh, well, yes. Of course, I'm going to be honest. I was opposed to him before.
Sure.
And I think that not only should he withdraw, personally, what I think is they should reveal his records. And I don't think I agree with the Democratic majority in which they're saying there should not only be a hearing, I believe there should be more of an investigation. Usually, if there's one problem like this, there might be more. Right. This has opened up a whole new avenue. There should be some time for preparation, but no, they want to rush it. And why? What are they hiding? We know that some of these documents that they had marked as so-called confidential, this new designation, committee confidential, were simply trying to cover up like his views on racial profiling. So basically, he has a lot of questions, a lot of double talk. He didn't really answer the questions. So now again, they want to rush again. The Democratic majority has asked for an investigation of this and to see is there any other problems out there. We got plenty of time. This is a lifetime appointment.
Right. We've got plenty of time. There's no reason in rushing it. We need to fully vet and examine. And what about this? The argument that maybe even some of these senators aren't qualified to lead the questioning. Ellie Smeal with us, folks, the Feminist Majority, quarter before the hour. That there should be actual investigators, staff, attorneys leading the questioning and the examination and cross-examination.
Well, that's what some of them are saying, and there's no question, though, that some of these Republicans will act as prosecutors. They did that to Anita Hill. They hardly gave her a chance in reality. The amazing thing is how strong she was during it all. And I believe Dr. Ford will also be strong. In fact, we'll see how insensitive they're going to be. Remember how courageous these women like Christine Blasey Ford is. She could have ignored this, but she thinks it's her civic duty for people to know more about a person who is now was about to get a lifetime appointment. So we'll see what happens. But I'll tell you one thing: women are not going to take this much more. This whole Me Too movement is not. It hits a chord because there has been so much violence towards women, so much underreporting of it, and I think that her confidentiality was not respected, by the way. And then they tried to blame Senator Feinstein for exposing when, in fact, she did not release this to the public and didn't because she had been asked not to and understands how much confidentiality is so important if we're going to really get at violence, not only sexual assault, but domestic violence, all kinds of violence that occurs far too often in our society today.
Agreed, folks. This will be a very important hearing on Monday. Dr. Ford did want to remain anonymous and confidential. What do you think changed her mind, Eleanor Smeal? And
well, her name was leaked. And once it got out, there were reporters on her doorstep. And what she realized is other people were telling her story, it was clear that it had been leaked, and she wanted to tell it herself, and get to have more control, not only of the situation. But I feel that she's a kind of person that understands that sometimes you just got to stand up and speak out. And so I think what changed it is the calculation. People were speculating as to what she thought when, and already, as I say, her name was out and she was getting the negatives. I asked myself, what kind of negatives? And of course, it's always threats. There's a whole today it's even worse because there's cyberbullying, and you take your family and yourself take tremendous risk. But she did know that she has to. There was going to be just negative impact, and she wanted to make sure that people understood why she hadn't spoken up, and to tell her story and her truth herself.
Folks, we'll see these hearings on Monday. We'll have full and complete coverage. Eleanor Smeal, how can people join if they like the Feminist Majority? How can they get involved?
Well, they can come on our website, feminist.org, feministmajority.org. We have both a foundation and a political action. If you like the political action, it's our C4 site, which is feministmajority.org. We also publish this magazine, by the way, Mark. And so if they're interested in knowing more about feminism generally, MsMagazine.com is another site you can go on. Of course, we have Twitter handles and Facebook, so there's all kinds of ways to reach us.
Fem Majority, folks, on Twitter. Ellie Smeal on Twitter. I have a great deal, as you all can tell, I hope, of respect and reverence for Ellie Smeal. She's one of really our sacred queens out here on the front line. She's been on the battlefield a long time, and I defer to her when it comes to these matters and what direction we should take, what our marching orders should be. One of those marching orders is that people should not stop. People should continue to call senators, right, Ellie?
Oh, absolutely. Be proud and speak out and say you not only are feminist, but, these issues are so pertinent today. By the way, this issue of her, that she was attacked as a high schooler, we have tremendous violence in our high schools and college campuses. And you know that the current administration, the DeVos Department of Education, is trying to make it more difficult for survivors to report and making it more difficult to eliminate sexual harassment. They're watering down the regulations that were there during the Obama-Biden era. Just one of the many ways that this administration is trying to go backwards. So it is time to fight back.
Indeed. Eleanor Smeal, feminist.org, feministmajority.org. Ellie, love you. Let's talk more. We don't talk enough. Okay?
I know. Thank you, Mark. And talk about somebody being on the front lines. You've been there for many, many years, and that's why we know each other. And, so often our opponents want to divide the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement, the LGBTQ movement. We're all together. We're fighting for social justice.
That's right. Well, I'm in solidarity. And folks, I'm a man. I'm a feminist.
Absolutely.
As a man. Men, we can be feminists, and you all ought to become one if you're not. Thank you, Ellie. Love you now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mark.
All right. Talk to you soon. 866, bye-bye. 866-99-SERIOUS, 866-997-4740. Ellie's wonderful, folks. Okay, let's get this last round of calls. We took a break, right? Yeah, we don't need another break, do we?
No. Oh, we need the hybrid.
But can you wait? I was going to that next because I'm not forgetting it.
Hey, if you're doing the checklist, I'm trying to help.
Oh my God! Well, I was doing the checklist, and you cut across me and
that's what I get paid for.
In the thing in there, the people you meet outdoors come in all shapes and sizes. And what an appropriate segue while speaking to Andrew. He's definitely someone who comes in a different shape and size.
Oh, boy.
The people you meet outdoors come in all shapes and sizes. Indeed, they do. You've got hikers and bikers, thrill seekers and tailgaters, pop-up campers and Class A glampers, and lesbian farmers. But no matter what draws you outside, we've all got something in common. A love for the great outdoors and a love for great TV. At Dish, we hear you. That's why our portable satellite antennas go wherever you go. Catch up on live news, sports, and locals, all in HD, anywhere in the continental United States. Plus, only Dish has pay-as-you-go programming with no contracts or credit checks required. Just activate your TV before you hit the road, then pause it when you're done. The Dish Tailgater and Dish Playmaker are fully automated and work without Wi-Fi. They're so lightweight and compact, you can take them anywhere. So call 1-833-TV for RV or visit dishoutdoors.com today. That's 1-833-TV for RV for TV, as flexible as your travel plans. Dish, tuned into you. Restrictions apply. Call or go online for details. Let's do a rapid round of calls in the moments where not a lot of time. Everybody can have pretty much less than a minute, I think. Let's try to hit and quit it. Travis is in Virginia. Travis, God bless you. Good morning. Get woke and vote. Withdraw Kavanaugh. Get ready for impeachment. Go right ahead, Travis. Quickly, please.
Kavanaugh, simplify, get ready for impeachment. Kavanaugh should just step down. And though Trump doesn't want that to happen because he offers him something which is immunity, and his base don't want him to do that because they know for a fact that he reversed Roe. Any other Republican candidate might not offer those two things.
That's true. Yeah, they get two. They get two for the price of one. That's a good point. That's right. And he does offer Trump immunity. Very good point. All right, man. Thank you. Right. Thomas is in Rhode Island. Thomas, God bless you. Good morning. Get woke and vote. Withdraw Kavanaugh. Get ready for impeachment. Go right ahead, Thomas.
Hey, how you doing, brother? Thank you for taking my call. I just want to make it plain, addressing this so-called double standard. I remember when Bill Clinton was going through what he was going through with the Monica Lewinsky situation and the treatment that Hillary Clinton got. At the time, she was just the wife of a president. They accused her of being an enabler. They accused her of attacking these women. Even when she ran for president, they did the same thing. So now you got Melania Trump, who knows her husband is paying off porn stars. She knows about the Access Hollywood tape. She knows about his appearance on Howard Stern. So where's the people in the media asking her or trying to shame her to leave this man? What's her opinion? What does she think about it? Where's the treatment that Hillary Clinton got? Where Melania Trump is completely, is she an enabler?
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
She knows what her husband's doing.
That's a good point, Travis. That's a very good point. I'm sorry I've got to rush, but it's a good point. Why isn't she being accused of enabling? Very good. Jim in New York. Jim, God bless you. Good morning. Get woke and vote. Withdraw Kavanaugh. Get ready for impeachment. Quickly, Jim. Quickly.
This is not a criminal trial. This is not a civil trial.
But he's a judge.
Arbitration.
Right.
This is a job interview.
Oh, in the courts. In the courts. Right.
For the highest, most powerful job in the land. This idea that this burden of proof, no, there should be no blemish on you whatsoever. You're supposed to be better than me ethically. You're supposed to be better than me morally. That's why we want you on the court, not be just as good as me. No, that's all nonsense. You're supposed to be better than me ethically and morally.
Right. Good point, Jim. Thank you. Paul's in California. Paul, God bless you. Good morning. Get woke and vote. Withdraw Kavanaugh. Get ready for impeachment. Quickly, Paul in California. Paul, are you there? All right. I guess not. So we'll take that as our cue to wrap it up. If all minds are clear, folks, join us again tomorrow morning. Stephanie Miller's next, Zerlina Maxwell and Jess McIntosh, Tom Hardman, Michelangelo, Dean. It has been made plain.